Secrets are revealed, stupidity is shown, and the man of steel cries like a little girl. All that and more is finally revealed in this second part of Zero Day, where we learn what happened on Zero Day all those years ago and why it's just absolutely stupid. Let's get into episode 9 of my adventures with Superman, where I will let them to go through how ridiculous this show just keeps getting. Okay, so last time around, Superman was captured because, he's an idiot and made no sense. But anyway, so he was captured and he is being interrogated by the general who has him, restrained and is using the shock collar on him because apparently, the general has some kind of shock fetish or something. I really don't know why. I'm just saying that seems to be the man's thing. I really don't care. So we finally get a reveal of what happened in the original Zero Day, right? He shows Superman this holographic recording of what happened back then. Now, my first question is, who recorded this? Because if you're showing a holographic representation of what happened, who recorded it? Who was able to get all that information to record it? I don't know. They never explained, but that's what really caused. Now, let me tell you exactly how stupid this thing is. Apparently, a few days ago, or a few days ago, this is in the flashback. This was like 22 years ago. This alien vessel showed up and it's hovering in the sky. So the military sends out some people. I'm not going to use the word forces because listen to this. There's an unknown alien something or another floating in the sky above. Common sense would dictate that you send out troops armed and ready in the event that this is something that could lead to some kind of invasion, right? Okay, so that's common sense. No, they don't do that. You know what I mean? They set up a little military base there, and everybody is standing there in a vest, a camouflage cargo pants, and boots. That's it. That's how ready they are, right? And Waller is there, and she's looking around for the general, Sam, because at this point it's pretty much clear that he is Lois's father, even though they don't want to admit it, even though they didn't admit it in this episode. Probably next time around, right? He's on the phone talking to, I guess, his wife or whatever, and, she comes in there and tells her that, they need to be ready and look at it, and he's like, well, what, but he's pretty laid back about the whole damn thing. All of a sudden, a portal opens up in the sky, and an alien armada comes through and starts attacking them. Now, I've said this before in regards to Task Force X. Let me say this again in regard to the military in this episode. If you're stupid enough to not come there prepared in the event of anything, you look for where you get. Do you understand me? You look for where you get. Because these people were not ready. They weren't there prepared to fight. They weren't even there to defend themselves. To be perfectly honest with you, I am surprised they didn't have a freaking barbecue pit and was just roasting up some stuff and chilling out. It was ridiculous. And this whole big invasion lasts like a minute. There's this mysterious entity in the sky, this Superman-like figure that they codename Nemesis Omega, who's just floating there. And, he shoots out some beam, I think, and destroys something, while the robots and the other stuff are just destroying everybody and killing all of them. And apparently Waller and the general were the only two survivors. And right when they are about to be destroyed, some mysterious event ends up forcing the army to retreat, but they leave all their technology and stuff behind. That's it. That's the big zero-day event. So the general is all, after that, he formed Task Force X and he took the technology and they've been preparing for any time this comes back again because they're not going to let this happen. Now all of the thing tells Superman how he's a weapon and he was there and all kind of stuff. So he asked Superman, why was he here? And then this is where it gets. Remember, Superman actually starts to cry. And he's like, I don't know. How could they? I didn't know that they would do it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. Have a little bit of testicular fortitude. What the hell are you crying for? You didn't do it. But no. And I tell you, and then the whole thing involving General. He believes that Nemesis Omega was actually Superman. Why? Why in God's name would he do that? He attacked you all. This Nemesis Omega attacked you all with an army. Why would he wait 22 years and then come back later to pretend to be a hero? It's pretty clear that, he could easily defeat all of you because you're a bunch of idiots. That's it. So when Superman starts bawling like a little girl, the General is all starts to wonder, if he's doing the right thing. So anyway, while Superman is once again proving that he's not a man, Lois and Jimmy are running around Metropolis looking for Superman. They have no clues, they have no nothing, they're just running around aimlessly. So what happens then? Flip Johnson and her kid news team or whatever, the same, basically the children, all right? The children, they come there and they want to help Lois and Jimmy. But they initially tell them, Lois initially tells them, no, it's too dangerous. And then Flip is all, Superman saved me. I want to help. I want to save him. And she hugs her up and then lets her do it. Yeah, people, there's an important parenting lesson for you. When you're dealing with dangerous people who were stupid enough to give criminals advanced dangerous technology, involve children. You understand me? That's an important parenting tip for all you parents out there. Involve children in some of the most dangerous shit imaginable. That's how you do things. Yep, that's how you do it. So while all of this is going on now, the General goes to Waller and tells her that, what if they are wrong about it? What if his people ages just like ours? He'd be too young to have been back there. What if we're wrong about all of this? I mean, they initially tried to paint the General as this ruthless man who does everything and anything to get what he wants. But every time you try to do that, you then try to turn around and say, he's very sympathetic and all of that. Not adding up at all. That's one. Two, common sense, as I've said more than once, would dictate that you watch Superman. You don't automatically just assume, okay, he's going to be bad, he's connected to all of this, and just dive in. That's not how you work. You understand me? Because even if he was a part of it, where is his armada? He's had plenty of time to rain down hell and destruction upon this world because, like I've said many times before, you're all a bunch of idiots, but no. So Waller tells him that, he has to stay in the course and he cannot deviate from it and all kind of thing. And he's all, yes, we're going to do it. Right. Then Waller turns off the security cameras for the villains. Right. Now, keep in mind, you remember in my last video review, I said that allowing criminals to continue to use this technology was a bad and stupid idea. Remember when I said that? Well, it turns out I was right. It's a bad and stupid idea. Why? Well, let me explain as this goes along, right? It turns out that Leslie Willis, aka Livewire, now apparently has electrical powers. Apparently, jacking yourself into unknown technology has some drawbacks, so she now has electrical powers, something Waller clearly knows. So when she turned off the security camera, Willis breaks everybody out. They all go and get their technology and start to rampage through the place. What a big shocker. You can't trust the criminals. Ivo gets his suit, because he is convinced that Superman ruined his life. How? Well, apparently in Ivo's crazy mind, when you willingly put on a dangerous parasite suit with technology you don't understand, and then you try to kill people that work in your own company, and then you lure Superman to your building and start to attack him. And then when you start to get affected by the very same suit and Superman saves your life, all of that is Superman's fault. So he attacks Superman and then inadvertently ends up freeing him. We also get to see in this episode how Wade Wilson loses his eye, right? Not in combat, not in some cool war thing or anything like that. No. What happens? Leslie Willis electrocutes his eye. Yes, it's that freaking stupid, right? So Ivo starts to absorb the electrical energy in this building and then starts to grow into a giant kaiju. Superman ends up escaping and is found by Flip, who somehow miraculously manages to take this man who weighs over 200 pounds, right? Because literally Superman is probably like about 220 or something like that, muscle at least, right? This is a little girl who's probably like 10 years old. She somehow managed to pick him up and take him back to her hideout, right? When he's there, Jimmy and Lois shows up and he's telling them that, he's a weapon that his people sent him to Earth to destroy and all of that. And I'm like, you don't know that. All you know is that some weird thing attacked people. You don't know anything about yourself because you refuse to find out. But Lois tells him that, that's not true. He's not a weapon. He's always helping people and all of that, right? While all of that is going on now, Kaiju Ivo is absorbing energy from different buildings and things throughout the city and going on a rampage. Superman decides he has to stop him. Lois tells him that, he's in no condition to do it, but he says people are getting hurt. He has to go and help. Okay, he flies out there. They need to find a way to help him. So Jimmy live streams on his Flame Bird podcasting and tells people that, he's Jimmy Olsen, Superman's best friend. Yeah, that's going to come back to haunt him later. And then Lois decides, and I will give credit where credit is due. Lois has an actual Lois Lane moment here. This is probably one of the few she's ever had in this entire series, which is the actual Lois Lane moment, where she talks and tells people that, okay, when Superman first showed up, she didn't know what to think about him. He had all these powers, all this other stuff, and she wasn't sure what to do. But he has helped a lot of people, and he's always continued to do so, continue to always use his powers to help and stuff. And, people are out there saying that, Superman is dangerous, but we have to put our trust in him. He's out there fighting for us, trying to stop this, and he's really trying to stand up to it and get it done. And, it's an inspiring speech. It's a Lois Lane speech. This is the kind of report that Lois Lane is supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to touch people's heart and let them know, listen, here is this man out there doing what's best for everybody. Okay. So she tells everybody, to turn off their power, turn off their breakers, all that thing. So everybody starts turning off all the power in the city. That's not exactly how it works. You can't just turn off power in a city like that just so it would cause the entire circuit to trip and would probably cause cascading destruction. I mean, all you really need to do is look at that scene from the first Die Hard movie where they wanted to shut down power to Nakatomi building and the whole block, and the man was like, "Are you crazy?" Because that's not how it does. That's not how it works. You have to actually get the power. You don't get to shut it down, and it would take time. But anyway, regardless of that, they shut it down. And once again, another stupid part in regards to Ivo's suit. Now, all this technology apparently came from Krypton. Why would anybody build this? Ivo's parasite suit makes no sense. It absorbs energy, and the more energy that it absorbs, it gets bigger and more grotesque. Okay, the problem is, the second it stops being able to absorb energy,
it loses power and just becomes a giant target. That's it. Because the minute that all the power gets turned off in the city, it just starts to lose power. The tentacle things that it was using to absorb energy just crumble away. It's not practical. It doesn't make any kind of sense for an actual weapon. So then Superman uses his X-ray vision to just locate Ivo in the suit and just, super speed through and rip him out of it. Once that happens, the suit, like I said, just waste time and just no longer could do anything. That's it. It's really, really stupid. So then after that, now Superman goes to see Ginny and Lois, and he and Lois declare their love for each other, and they kiss, nice happy moment, all of that. Okay, good for them, good for them. Ginny, however, when he leaves them to be alone, he finds the file X, I don't want to say X file, but the file X that Lois has been carrying around with her for some unknown freaking reason, right? That shows that there are different versions of Superman in the multiverse, and that some of them are evil. So he finds that. Right. When the general goes back to his base, let me just wait with this thing, yeah? The base is apparently located underneath Metropolis. So when they kidnapped Superman and flew away, they apparently then came back and went underneath the city to keep him in there where their base is. No freaking sense, people. But anyway, so the general comes back to his base, and Waller tells him that, she contacted Checkmate and the US government, and that he has been demoted and she is now in charge of Task Force X, which is what she wanted all along, because she let those criminals go to intentionally discredit him so she could get control of Task Force X, because she's a woman, she must be more ruthless than this stupid man. She then gives the general his last mission, not his last mission, his new orders, and it's this weapon that Ivo created called the Omega Cannon, and his orders are to use it to kill Superman. So there we have it, people. This was the big episode, the big payoff that they were looking to. Zero Day showed that the army are a bunch of incompetent morons. Superman is a crybaby. Ivo turned into some giant kaiju. The general got cocked, and apparently now he has to go and kill Superman, which is all going to lead up to the big reveal that the general is Lois's father, something we all know by now. And then he's going to have to find out finally who he is, where he came from, and what it is going on, which is just a waste of time, because now everybody is going to be in on the big secret with, this one knows it, this one knows that he's Clark Kent, this one knows he's Clark Kent, this one knows he's Clark Kent, because they just don't want to stop. This episode just keeps getting more and more ridiculous. You don't take anything to show that, okay, let's face anything well. No, I knew the criminals were going to turn on them. They're criminals. That was bound to happen. This whole 0 Day thing made no freaking sense at all. I mean, I can understand if you had an army and you were there and you were literally almost, wiped out while you were fighting them, fight. But you all might as well have been there having a barbecue while all of this happened. You did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Why does Superman have flashbacks of all of these things happening? I don't know, but they may very well reveal it in the next episode, because there's still more to come, because they still have to introduce Brainiac plus Kara and all this other nonsense that's going on. Plus this whole Omega, this whole Nemesis Omega might have been some kind of mind control Jor-El, or it might have been Zod or somebody else. I don't even freaking know anymore, but that's what's happening. Once again, in regards to this episode, I will say that, Lois Lane's moment where she was giving the speech and thing, really nicely done. Her and Clark and them declaring the love for each other. Nice, sweet moment, okay. The rest of it, pure tata. So I will give this episode of My Adventures with Superman a 1.9 out of 5, because again of the two things that I mentioned. The rest of it It's just the same ridiculous crap over and over again. That's it for me, people. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, remember to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. You'll be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.